Good morning, or afternoon, wherever you might watch this from. Today, I've opted to use another of my favorite decks, the Tarot de Marseille, the Restoration by Jodorowsky. This was actually the deck that really got me to look seriously at tarot and understand it as a system of 78 working parts that operate together rather than 78 fun little pictures that don't. So today the Eight of Cups came up, and to me today this represents a relationship as we would expect with the cups, but of a different sort than we might expect. To me, this represents a spiritual relationship, and one that requires a great deal of receptivity and self-reflection, receptivity to the higher self, or what I call the higher or transcended self, but that some may refer to as something else. The important part lies in that receptivity to whatever you find fulfilling spiritually, and that helps to build your meaning, kind of like plants growing out from the center and into new areas of exploration. I think that seems especially fitting when it comes to a relationship with the spiritual and the self. Not necessarily looking into dogma or memorizing catechisms, but opening up to oneself, one's higher self, and however you need to go about that. You may have an idea already, and probably do, and I would pay attention to that and go with that. Now, I prefer the decks with the pip cards, but I also decided today to look at a more illustrated rendition of the Eight of Cups. And there we see a representation that really drives home the point I was trying to make. It involves part of a journey, part of a spiritual journey. You'll notice the solitary figure, sort of reminiscent of the hermit, who goes on his quest and finds some of his best company by himself. I would say this fellow has done a fair amount of reflecting, as we can do in these early versions of mirrors, let's say, these reflective devices. There's been some contemplation. He's prepared himself. He's put on the red coat of activity. He wears the green pants that represent growth, and he's already made an effort to cross over that body of water onto higher planes, into deeper and more meaningful things. We may feel that once we've reached the stability of the eights, kind of like a cornerstone or a foundation, that we can wait and feel comfortable. But I don't think so. I think, as this card especially illustrates, that a whole lot more lies out there for our self-exploration. And as this one implies with the growth of the foliage, you can see that it's grown to the limits of the borders of the card. And soon it'll have to go beyond those into more substantial and meaningful, deep things, in this case concerning the self. and the self's relationship with its spirituality. So I hope that that was insightful. It certainly was for me, and I'll bear this in mind as I go throughout the day. Look forward to talking to you next time.